Imagine a land where kangaroos outnumber people, where voting is optional but the law, where some of the deadliest creatures on Earth roam free. Picture a place where betting on the races is a national pastime, where you can find a lake the color of bubblegum, where Christmas is celebrated in the summer with Santa arriving in shorts. All of this is real in Australia. Join us as we hop across the vast continent to explore the 15 most unique and astounding facts about the land down under, in today's travel documentary. Number 15. Australia, a continent and a country, vast beyond belief. Australia, officially the Commonwealth of Australia, isn't just a country. It's the world's largest island and its smallest continent, spanning a staggering 7.69 million square kilometers. That's about 2.97 million square miles. It's, roughly the same size as the contiguous United States. Think about that. One country, the size of your entire lower 48 states. But here's where it gets mind-bogglingly different. Despite its immense size, Australia's population is just over 26 million people. Compare that to the USA's population of over 330 million. This means Australia has one of the lowest population densities in the world. You could fit every single Australian into Texas, and it would still feel less crowded than many US states. The capital is Canberra, a planned city often overlooked by its more famous siblings, Sydney and Melbourne. It boasts 6 states and several territories, each with its own distinct character, climate, and even slight variations in culture, much like the diverse states in the USA, but with exponentially more open space between them. The climate varies wildly, from tropical rainforests in the north, similar to parts of Florida or Hawaii, to arid deserts covering the vast interior, making the Nevada desert look like a damp sponge, to temperate regions in the south with 4 distinct seasons, much like California or parts of the East Coast. Yet, despite this vastness, most Australians live within 100 kilometers of the coast, creating bustling, vibrant coastal cities surrounded by enormous stretches of untouched, often challenging land. Number 14. The Outback, where distance gets a new meaning. If you think driving across Texas is a long haul, try traversing the Australian Outback. This isn't just a region, it's a state of mind. A vast, remote, semi-arid to arid interior that covers the majority of the continent. It's a place of stunning, harsh beauty, ancient landscapes, and distances that dwarf anything you'll find outside Alaska in the US. Picture driving for days on straight, seemingly endless roads, marked only by the occasional roadhouse, AC, combined gas station, diner, and motel, often the only sign of human life for hundreds of miles, and wildlife warning signs, not for deer, but for kangaroos and emus. This is a place where getting away from it all means leaving civilization and mobile phone reception far, far behind. While the American West has its wide-open spaces, the Outback takes it to an entirely different level. It's a place where traditional indigenous cultures have thrived for tens of thousands of years, leaving behind incredible rock art and a deep connection to the land. Exploring the Outback is an adventure, requiring careful planning, a reliable vehicle, often a 4x4, and a healthy respect for the extreme conditions. It's where you truly appreciate the scale of the Australian continent and understand why so many of those 26 million people choose to stick to the coast. Have you ever experienced such extreme distances? Let us know in the comments if the thought of driving across the Outback excites or intimidates you. Number 13. A land of living fossils and fearsome critters. Australia is famous for its unique and often terrifying wildlife. Thanks to millions of years of isolation, the continent evolved its own incredible array of creatures. Forget bears and wolves, think kangaroos, koalas, platypuses, and wombats, marsupials found nowhere else on Earth. And yes, as the intro fact states, Australia has more kangaroos than people. Estimates vary, but there are likely upwards of 50 million hopping around. They're so common, they're sometimes considered pests, like deer in some parts of the US, but it's not all cute and cuddly. Australia is also home to some of the most venomous animals on the planet. We're talking about funnel web spiders, whose bite is incredibly toxic, the inland taipan, considered the world's most venomous snake, and various species of jellyfish and octopuses in the coastal waters that pack a potentially deadly punch. While encounters are relatively rare, especially if you take precautions, the reputation is well earned. This biological distinctiveness is a stark contrast to the wildlife found in North America, a result of completely separate evolutionary paths. It's a constant reminder that in Australia, nature plays by its own, sometimes dangerous rules. Does the idea of venomous wildlife make you hesitant to visit? Or does the unique nature make it more appealing? Tell us your thoughts below. 12. The coastal obsession and beaches galore. With most of its population hugging the coastline, it's no surprise that beaches are central to the Australian way of life. And what beaches they are! Australia boasts over 10,000 beaches, from the iconic golden sands of Bondi and Sydney, often compared to California's Santa Monica, but with bigger waves and fewer piers, to the pristine white silica of Hyams Beach, or the rugged, windswept shores of the Great Ocean Road. Beach culture is deeply ingrained. Surfing, swimming, sunbathing, or just having a barbecue, or Barbie, as the locals say, with friends. While the U.S. has stunning coastlines on both the Atlantic and Pacific, the sheer number and diversity of easily accessible, and often less crowded outside major city centers, beaches in Australia, is unparalleled. Lifesavers, clad in their distinctive red and yellow, patrol the popular spots, a vital service given the powerful ocean currents and occasional marine stingers in tropical waters. It's a life lived outdoors, with the ocean providing both recreation and a constant connection to the vast world beyond the island continent. If you love the beach, Australia isn't just a destination, it's a pilgrimage. Number 11. Sydney and Melbourne, the friendly rivalry. Much like the friendly, or not so friendly depending on who you ask, competition between New York and Los Angeles, Sydney and Melbourne are Australia's two largest cities, locked in perpetual debate about which is the nation's cultural capital. Sydney, famous for its stunning harbour, the iconic Opera House and the Harbour Bridge, feels like Australia's energetic, glamorous face, a bit like a sunnier, harbour-focused version of San Francisco, with a touch of Miami's vibrancy. It's a global city, a hub of finance and tourism, bustling and beautiful. Melbourne, on the other hand, prides itself on its laneway culture, its thriving art scene, world-class restaurants, and a deep passion for sports, especially Australian rules football. It's often described as more European, more sophisticated, perhaps the Seattle or Chicago of Australia, but with trams and better coffee. Both offer incredible museums, galleries, parks, and diverse culinary scenes that rival major U.S. cities. While they share a national identity, the distinct personalities of Sydney and Melbourne offer a fascinating glimpse into the urban heart of Australia, proving that even on a sparsely populated continent, cities can develop their own unique rhythms and souls. Number 10. Mandatory. Voting in a nation of gamblers. Here's a fact that truly sets Australia apart from the USA. Voting in federal and state elections is mandatory for all eligible citizens. Fail to turn up without a valid reason, and you could face a fine. This isn't just encouraged, it's a civic duty enforced by law. Imagine that in the US, where voter turnout can fluctuate dramatically. This policy contributes to consistently high voter participation rates in Australia, shaping the political landscape in unique ways. On a lighter, perhaps more surprising note, Australians have a reputation for loving a punt. Gambling is a significant part of the culture, from lotteries and casinos to sports betting and the ubiquitous poker machines, or pokies, in pubs and clubs. This fact often surprises visitors from countries with stricter gambling laws, though the prevalence of casinos and online betting in the US shows some parallels, perhaps just less culturally integrated into everyday life than in Australia. It's a land of civic responsibility blended with a national penchant for taking a chance. What do you think about mandatory voting? Do you think it's a good idea? Share your opinion in the comments. Number 9. A summer Christmas down under. Imagine Santa Claus swapping his sleigh for a surfboard and his heavy suit for something a little more breathable. In Australia, Christmas falls in the middle of summer. December 25th means long sunny days, trips to the beach, BBQs in the backyard, and carols by candlelight under the stars. A stark contrast to the snowy, cozy imagery associated with Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere, including most of the U.S. While they still have Christmas trees and exchange gifts, the traditional roast dinner might be replaced with seafood and salads, and the festive spirit is accompanied by cicadas buzzing and the smell of sunscreen. This unique timing profoundly impacts the holiday culture. Instead of being bundled up indoors, celebrations spill out into the great outdoors. It's a fascinating cultural adaptation, taking a Northern Hemisphere tradition and completely reinventing it to fit the realities of the Australian climate. If you had to choose, would you prefer a snowy Christmas or a summer Christmas on the beach? Let us know your festive preference. Number 8. The Pink Lake Phenomenon. Australia is home to some truly bizarre natural wonders, and the Pink Lake is certainly one of them. Several lakes across the country exhibit this startling coloration, the most famous perhaps being Lake Hillier in Western Australia. The cause isn't a chemical spill or pollution. It's believed to be due to the presence of specific types of algae and bacteria that thrive in the high salinity levels of the lake. From a distance or above, the lake appears a vibrant, almost unbelievable shade of pink, often contrasted dramatically by the deep blue of the nearby ocean. It's a surreal and beautiful natural phenomenon, a reminder of the strange and wonderful things evolution can create. Number 7. The laid-back Aussie attitude. Stereotypes exist for a reason, and the laid-back Aussie attitude holds a good deal of truth. Generally speaking, Australians value informality, egalitarianism, and don't take themselves too seriously. There's a strong sense of mateship, friendship, and loyalty, and a tendency to use nicknames and shortened words, day for day, arvo for afternoon, Barbie for barbecue. While big cities have their fast pace, there's often a prevailing sense that life is to be enjoyed, not just endured. Work-life balance is generally valued, with strong union presence historically contributing to good working conditions. This isn't to say Australians aren't hard workers, but there's perhaps less of the intense hustle culture that can be prevalent in some major U.S. cities. It's a culture that encourages kicking back, enjoying the outdoors, and not getting too stressed about the small stuff. A refreshing change of pace for many visitors from more intense environments. While the U.S. has colorful hot springs and unique geological formations, a genuinely bright pink lake is a level of natural weirdness that few places can match. It's a visual spectacle that feels straight out of a fantasy novel. Have you ever seen a natural phenomenon as unique and colorful as a pink lake? Tell us about your experience. Number 6. The Great Barrier Reef and Underwater Metropolis. Stretching over 2,300 kilometers along the coast of Queensland, the Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef system and one of its most spectacular natural wonders. It's so vast it can be seen from space and is composed of billions of tiny organisms. This underwater ecosystem is a kaleidoscope of color and life, home to countless species of fish, turtles, dolphins, and, of course, coral. It's a major draw for tourists, offering unparalleled opportunities for snorkeling, diving, and boating. While the U.S. has important marine ecosystems and coral reefs in places like Florida and Hawaii, none compare to the sheer scale and biodiversity of the Great Barrier Reef. It's a natural treasure of global importance, currently facing significant threats from climate change and pollution, making efforts to protect it more crucial than ever. Visiting the reef is an experience that highlights the incredible richness of marine life. Number 5. Indigenous Australia. Ancient cultures, living history. Australia is home to the world's oldest continuous living cultures. Indigenous Australians have inhabited the continent for at least 65,000 years, developing a deep spiritual connection to the land and incredibly diverse languages, customs, and art forms. While colonization brought immense hardship and dispossession, indigenous cultures are resilient and continue to thrive today. Visitors have opportunities to learn about this rich history through cultural centers, guided tours, and experiencing traditional art and performances. Understanding and respecting Indigenous perspectives is vital to truly appreciating Australia. This ancient history and ongoing cultural presence provide a depth and dimension to Australia that is distinct from the relatively shorter history of European settlement in the USA, offering a unique window into humanity's past. Number 4. The Australian sporting passion. Australians are passionate about sports, often to an almost religious degree. Cricket in the summer, Australian rules football, AFL in the south, rugby league in the north. These aren't just games, they're cultural institutions. Major sporting events like the Melbourne Cup, horse racing, the Australian Open, tennis, and international cricket matches bring the nation to a standstill. The rivalry between states and cities over sporting codes is intense and a major part of the social fabric. While the U.S. has its beloved football, basketball, and baseball, the Australian sporting landscape is distinctly different, dominated by codes less familiar to American audiences, but deeply ingrained in the local identity. Participation in sports and outdoor activities is also very common, reflecting that active outdoor lifestyle. Number 3. Cost of living, big city prices, outback value. Australia, particularly its major cities, is often perceived as an expensive place to live and visit, and compared to many parts of the U.S., this can be true, especially in cities like Sydney and Melbourne. Renting an apartment in these cities can easily rival or exceed costs in places like Los Angeles or Chicago, though perhaps slightly less than New York City. Groceries and dining out can also feel pricey. However, average wages are also generally higher than in the U.S., helping to offset some of these costs. Healthcare, while funded differently, a hybrid public-private system, is generally considered high quality and more universally accessible than in the U.S. The cost of living varies significantly depending on where you are. Regional areas and smaller towns offer a much more affordable lifestyle than the bustling metropolis. So, while the sticker price on some things might be high, the overall value, considering wages and social services, presents a different picture. Number 2. The unique Aussie lingo. Prepare for a linguistic adventure. Australians have a colorful and often bewildering array of slang and colloquialisms. You might hear someone ask if you want a stubby, a small bottle of beer, tell you to chuck a UI, make a U-turn, or describe something as fair dinkum, genuine or true. While English is the official language, the Australian vernacular is packed with unique phrases and shortened words that can leave newcomers scratching their heads. It's a reflection of the informal, no-nonsense culture, and adds another layer of character to interactions. While American English also has regional dialects and slang, the Australian version feels distinctly creative and sometimes playfully irreverent. Mastering a few Aussie phrases is a great way to connect with locals. What's the most interesting piece of Aussie slang you've ever heard? Share it in the comments. Number 1. More than just kangaroos and beaches. While the iconic images of kangaroos, the outback, and stunning beaches are undeniably central to Australia, the country is far more than these famous symbols. It's a modern, multicultural nation with a thriving arts scene, world-class universities, a dynamic economy, and a population drawn from every corner of the globe. It's a land of innovation, resilience, and a unique perspective shaped by its geography and history. From the vibrant street art of Melbourne to the ancient rock formations of Uluru, from the sophisticated wine regions to the rugged wilderness, Australia offers an incredible diversity of experiences. It's a place where the ancient past meets a dynamic present, where nature is both beautiful and challenging, and where the people, with their distinct accent and laid-back charm, welcome you to their extraordinary home. It's a continent that surprises, delights, and challenges you, leaving an indelible mark long after you've left its shores. We've just taken a whirlwind tour through 15 unique and fascinating facts about Australia. Hopefully this gave you a deeper appreciation for the land down under and maybe even inspired you to visit. What surprised you the most about Australia? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey, please give us a like and share the video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more travel documentaries. See you next time.